Right, before we get going, just an announcement just to say that we are with the people of Liverpool who are affected by the tragic events that happened after the parade. It was a fantastic day, and us as a podcast would like to say a couple of words just saying we are behind you, we are together with you. Awful events, and anyone affected, we'd like to say we stand by you.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. Just devastating scenes. Over the weekend, and just to echo what you said, really, Pete, just thoughts and prayers with everyone that has been affected by this.
Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch. I've got Chris Stark with me, and Notorious SRD is on the missing list. In all honesty, he did tell us he was doing the Chelsea Rollercoaster game the other night, and he wouldn't be able to be with us today. But many people behind the scenes are saying, I've lost the dressing room.
Well, you have. I mean, there are question marks. There are things being said. There was a lot of comments after the last Friday podcast, that I think I'd zoned out. In fact, no, I had to go. I had to leave.
You left early before the messages, and Sid's had zoned out. And then he's obviously not turned up today. And there was already shouts that he was on the beach after the last Friday because he was so far ahead.
He is, yeah. I mean, well, he was and is. And look, this is the culmination of a whole season's worth of score predictions. The stress that we have all gone through doing this week in, week out. Feels like this year in particular, we really committed to it. It became very serious, this league.
Yeah, it was a serious league, wasn't it?
Arguably the best league in the world.
Well, I agree with that. I would agree with that. I think it was the most exciting. Sid's, it feels to me like Sid's has gone to Ocean Beach before the season, very much like Arne Slot.
Yes.
I feel like he's slotted me.
Did we talk about this last Friday, by the way? Wild that he turned up there. I'm led to believe, is it the Ocean Beach in Dubai?
No, it's the Dubai one, yeah.
Which might be the only slight saving grace in this situation, because the idea that he's turned up in Ibiza that early is just incredible.
Yeah,
right?
It's phenomenal scenes, isn't it?
But I mean, even on my way in today, I've seen pictures. Wayne Lineker's just throwing them up constantly. I've seen Jude Bellingham has arrived at O Beach.
It is amazing how you go from Carlo Ancelotti straight into the management of Wayne Lineker.
Yeah, but we've said he's the second best club manager in the world for any football club, because
it's unbelievable. I mean, some of the players he's had through his doors and managed for that short period of time.
And we'll have this summer. I mean, there's something to be said as well for longevity in any game. And it's not even like he's getting these players and he's only 1 or 2 seasons in. This man's been doing it for about 40 years.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, kind of, it's like Alex Ferguson. You know, he consistently churns out top players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's gone from, say, you know, Mark Hughes, for instance, to Wayne Rooney and Van Nistelrooy.
But he's versatile as well. You know, he can work with Dean Gaffney in the same breath that he can work with
Jude Bellingham or an Arne Slot.
But yeah, he has the career longevity of an Alan Devonshire or someone like that.
It's phenomenal. To span decades at the top of your club management career.
Yeah.
It's like, there's only a few names, you know, Pep, Ancelotti, Ferguson, Lineker.
Yeah. Just on that as well, we should talk about this. I think just briefly touch on it. Is I thought it was quite emotional watching Gary Lineker's last match of the day thing. Even just from a point of view, taking anything away aside from just the presenting role of match of the day. That's a show that's all about routine and being part of your, I don't know, schedule and your sort of the way you go about your weekend. So to see him leaving that, I don't know, I was sort of strangely, it stirred some sort of emotion in me.
I think it does. I think, you know, certainly for 25 years, I mean, there'll be people out there that have only ever known Gary Lineker, right, on that programme. And obviously Des Lynam it felt like he was irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I think the way that Gary's gone in there and kind of been able to carry on that baton, if you like, and be and I've had the pleasure of working with him, and he is fantastic at his job. And I think the biggest credit you can give him is he was a top player, like a really top player, and you know, one of the best that we've produced as a centre forward for England. And then people actually forget, I think, that he was even a footballer, and I think that's a credit to how he was as a presenter. There's the fact that you actually think he's genuinely a really professional presenter, and you forget that he's banged in. He scored 45 goals for England.
You don't forget the crisps.
No,
That's
you
what
don't.
I would say as well. It's like, it's almost, you are right, that the depth of his career to some people would be match of the day and crisps.
Yeah.
You do forget he was.
Yeah, people do.
Top
But I
player.
think that's because he's so good at his job that, you know, it's like it's not a footballer doing a job. He's just a presenter.
Yeah.
Which is a credit to him how he's transitioned through that.
And then also, I think, you know, it's exciting to see what the new guys coming into it will do, because there'll be 3 presenters with that, and I don't know if it all switches up or if they're playing. Are they playing 3 up front every match of the day?
No, I believe. Well, I imagine it'll be a rotation system.
It'd have to be,
But,
wouldn't it? Because 3 up front would be mad. Like, imagine just
have Ranieri as the producer of Match of the Day. Look. Like, what games? Who's on what? You know what I mean? Like, what? How are you going to rotate that?
I don't know. It's going to be a fascinating one to watch.
All good presenters though. The new one in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so look, we find ourselves at the end of this season, obviously with our mini league that's been running throughout it. Look, the obvious thing that I guess we've got to get into is the league standings. And it was a very tense last day. You know, we picked 3 Premier League games. The one thing I would say, if there was going to be a build, I think we need to be together for the last day of the season next year.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think I was getting so many messages, and the problem was people were even messaging me going, "Are you safe as it stands?" And I was trying to reply to a few DMs and get involved a little bit, but I didn't even know if I was safe. I needed coverage for myself.
Let me tell you where we are, right? We've been inundated with people saying about the live stream we did.
Yes.
Next year, if it goes down to the wire again, it's a live stream on. It's basically like a deadline day vibe, you know, like where it's just things moving all the time. We can do little graphics about how it's like Chris, Sid's, and Crouchy. We'll move it like the relegation zone needs that.
I think it does. And also I think maybe what we can do is we can get some of the people who listen to this podcast, we can get them in their respective grounds reporting into it.
Reporting back.
As well. So we can all sort of part
I mean that is actually a fantastic idea. I'm looking behind the scenes and there's a lot of lads shaking their heads going, there's a lot of work for them to do.
I mean, we're basically launching the new TNT on the show.
We've just launched it. No, but I think for our game, you know, because I was at Old Trafford on the final day.
Yes.
And I do have to say something that really resonated with me at this game. Firstly, there was a little lad, Luca, that I need to mention, who came at me. I was on the side of the pitch at Old Trafford, and obviously Aston Villa could get into the Champions League, and there was a lot going on, and obviously it was the last game of the season. And anyway, right down the front, I had a little Scouse accent. Crouchy lad turned around, and this little kid, Luca, I had to take a picture of him. He's in the stand at Old Trafford with a 20 times Liverpool flag with Virgil van Dijk holding the trophy. Couldn't believe it.
And just unfurled
on
it
his
himself. On his own?
On his own, yeah. And he maybe signed the flag, and then he ran back up before the steward got him.
So he just wanted you to see the banner.
Yeah.
Clock that he was in. You've given it the full endorsement.
Given him the full endorsement. But then obviously I'm on the side of the pitch.
Well, yeah, that makes you almost an accomplice.
Oh, it
you
was
might
so
as well have
funny.
been stood with it.
I just thought to him, what a legend. Like, he brought that into Old Trafford. And then after that, there was an amazing moment, and this might sound really strange to you, but there was a moment, I don't know if you saw it right, where they got a penalty, and obviously Bruno Fernandes is the penalty taker. Christian Eriksen is his last game for Manchester United ever. He hands him the ball. It was pissing down rain, right? And I just thought to myself, right, the sun came out for 1 second, and obviously Christian Eriksen died on the pitch and came back to life. So he's kind of faced that door, right, where you've walked through, or, you know, however it works. It pissed down the whole game, and then the sun came out for that split second where he had the ball. He put the ball down, he took the penalty, he scored it, and then he ran back, he got congratulated. It was all sunny the whole time, then he went back to the centre circle, and then it went back in again, and it rained again.
No way.
Yeah. And I said to Joe, I went, were you on that? Like, did you feel that? And I had goosebumps. And he went, no, I totally get that as well. I'm with you. Like, how's that just happened? And I went, look, it could be a complete coincidence, but it just made me think, like, wow, it was a proper.
It felt
like a moment, yeah.
Yeah, proper moment.
Did.
But I mean, this is the kind of stuff you talk about where it's sort of miracle kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah, it felt what it felt like. Let's be honest, that man was he was at that point when he collapsed for Denmark, would have had a period of being dead. And he's come back to life, amazingly playing for a top club and performed the way he did as well in the game. It's like, it felt like there was a moment there.
Were you on the comms for this game?
No, I was sitting there watching. So basically, I'm behind the bench and I was doing the game, but we were going to go on. I didn't say my feelings after the game.
I was going to say because there was a lot going on that weekend. I missed.
No,
I crossed to Crouchy for a biblical moment.
It was a biblical moment. It felt like, and I don't know if his family recognised that but I felt it, and it felt quite emotional. For me, and I'm not a religious man. I'm not. I don't know what's out there, and I don't pretend to. Everyone's got their own views, but I just felt like that was a little moment.
Listen, sometimes you just don't need an explanation. It was just an amazing moment, and it could be for anything bigger than us that we don't understand, but pretty cool all the same. And I imagine makes for an awesome photo. For Eriksen as well.
Yeah. Man,
it's a strange one as well. I find that last game of the season, were you there for the parading of the wives?
Yes, the parading of the wives, yeah.
And that
couldn't
as
stop
well.
laughing. But then I was dying to take a pic to send to you, but I thought, I just don't want to get caught doing that.
Can't really be taking pictures of the wives, can you?
It was very funny. I was dying to do it.
No, but with that as well, you see the statements from players. I saw, Johnny Evans, for example, and he's put up a picture on Instagram, and it's to thank you to the fans for when you're leaving a club at that magnitude, and you look at that moment with Eriksen. What are the kind of emotions in that moment? Do you have your head round it properly, or does it actually hit you on that last
I think it does. I think it does hit you. I mean, I remember when I retired and my last game, and I'd only told my family that this is going to be my last game. I'm done. This is me. So obviously there was no kind of parade or speeches or anything. It was just me and my family that knew. But when the kids come on the pitch, and I thought I'm walking around in a Premier League game against Arsenal, and I remember thinking, this is the last time I'm going to do this. And that's when it kind of hit me, and you're emotional because your kids are looking at you and this is amazing. They're on the pitch. You think, I wish I could do this more for them. But it is quite emotional, and I did feel it. But I was, the way I looked at it was, I was so lucky to have the career that I had. I wouldn't have changed anything, and I played for 20 years. I couldn't. And everything runs its course, doesn't it? But,
well, mate, I did know you then. Obviously, we were doing a podcast when your retirement was announced. I actually heard it on the radio, for what it's worth. It was during the news. During
I didn't tell anyone.
It was like Peter Crouch has announced his retirement, and the phrase that always lives with me that you said, and I thought it summed it up perfectly. And it's the lesser known catchphrase of yours, I think. Over the Virgin one, was football's given me everything. And I just thought that was so cool and so simple, and it was a humble way to look at it, and that, you do a lot for the game, and all these footballers, I do feel emotional when I see it, because I'm a bit of an emotional guy, and you see these footballers retiring, and you see these players that you've either shouted out or shouted with for so many seasons, and then it all boils down to that last picture and a sign off on Instagram. But when you see someone like yourself saying football's given me everything rather than just what you've put into the game, I thought it always summed you up quite nicely.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. And you know what, because people always say to me, do any of your lads play? And I say, my little one plays a little bit. He said, would you want him to go into football? And I'm like, how can I sit here and go, nah, don't try and do that, because I've just led the best life because of it, and enjoyed every moment of every day. And I think, that's something that has given me such joy. I would always wish for my kids.
And I'm sure you wish every footballer that is calling it time and might be listening to this podcast even, the best of luck in launching their own podcasts and getting into the careers that you now have.
Again, I'm still enjoying it.
You are bottom of the league, though.
I'll tell you what I'm not enjoying, this fucking league. So yeah, I'm due a forfeit. I got 1 point on the final day. Chris, you got 1 point, so you kept me at bay. And Sid's is on the beach anyway. You got 1 point.
There was a point during the Sunday. I know you would have been distracted with work, but I was keeping such an eye on it. I'd really treat myself to a day of it. I was having beers and all sorts. As I say, I was replying to people on Instagram, just kind of really trying to get involved in the last day sort of thing. We were talking on WhatsApp. But mate, you did at one point, the results were going such a way for you that I thought the Crouchy luck had happened. Was it the West Ham
I did
game,
as well.
potentially?
I did as well. I really thought that we were gonna nick. That was the Chelsea game was the one. I thought it was 2-1, but
that was it.
They were winning. I really thought that was gonna be my 3-pointer.
Yeah.
But you know, I was doing the Villa game. Villa just missed out. Chelsea, Newcastle in the. I mean, the Villa game. Let's be honest. I don't know if you saw the decision.
Oh.
But we were obviously analysing that, and I feel for the referee, but you got to feel for Villa as well. Like,
why do you feel for the referee in this one?
Because he's made a mistake.
Yeah,
and a genuine mistake. Anyone can make it, you know. But he's blew the whistle too early. Or if he had waited 2-3 more seconds, it's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. You can still give the foul, and then we can see that it's not on VAR. But the minute he blows, it interferes with the game, and they can't look at it.
So what do you have to do in this situation? Do you have to just, I don't know, have a situation with the referee where they just play on in literally everything, don't make any calls?
Well, I think anything that involves a potential goal, you know, or could be a goal.
So that would be anything around the
box,
goal.
Anything around the box. Yeah. I think you got to let it play. I mean, listen, we go through the pantomime of watching someone who's 10 yards offside play out a series of plays, and we all go, "When's he going to?" I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? So if you can't do it for this, then don't do it for those offsides.
I guess the question would then just be what the limits are on this to the point where you just don't have a referee, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's got to head if you're going to stop these situations, I imagine.
Yeah. Just
crazy one. How was it in the? Oh no, you weren't at that.
Unai Emery was kicking off, like on the side of the pitch, and you know, I think he's his director of football that came down, and the fourth got both barrels as well. But he actually calmed down. I think he gave himself 15-20 minutes to, because the magnitude of that. Man United deserved to win the game. Villa didn't play very well, but the magnitude of that decision is it's 100 million. It's Champions League football or not. It's got so many ramifications, and that's why we kind of brought VAR in to eradicate that. So yeah, it was a bit of a balls up on the last day, but I feel for kind of everyone involved. I feel like the ref might have even apologised to Unai Emery, you know. And what do you say to that? Someone says sorry, you're like, it was a genuine mistake. Yeah, you can't continue to barrage him, although I'm sure Villa fans will. Yeah, but I'd urge them not to.
But then I guess, like our mini league, you know, it's sad that it comes down. It's just a pinch point in the season because it's the end of the season, right? Took on a different significance, perhaps. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Congratulations to Steve Sidwell, who is the Liverpool of the group. Chris Stark, I would class you as the Chelsea. You've had your ups and downs, but you're in the Champions League. I'm the Southampton of the group. So you are bottom, which means you are going to be facing a forfeit. First time you face the forfeit, which is absolutely huge. And we've been saying all season, what could this forfeit be? So we've been inundated with suggestions for what I should be doing as a forfeit. I know you guys have been brainstorming quite a bit this week as well. So yeah, I think at the end of the podcast we'll just get some of the suggestions. Maybe we'll have a poll, or you know, the guys at home can vote for precisely what they want me to do. Thing is, mate, the idea that you're doing it just brings this to a whole another level, attention-wise and everything. It's fantastic for the podcast. It's not ideal. You don't want to do this. Do you know, I've had a couple of messages from people saying Crouchy's tried to throw the league. As if I was throwing it. It's as if you want to be doing the forfeit. Like, there's nothing I'd rather not be doing than the forfeit. Two other quick bits from last weekend or over the week. Will Still becoming Southampton manager. I think quite cool to see, and it'd be great seeing what he can do with that situation. He's the kind of person I do wonder we should get on the pod at some point, you know. Hopefully he's going to do well at Southampton. And the other thing, of course, is Tucker's 19. Tucker's 19. who did give me the wrong prediction from last weekend. Luckily, it didn't have an effect, but seems to have taken on a whole new literary status of his own.
I've seen a couple of lads who've got Tucker's 19 on their shirt. Brand new replica shirts with Tucker's 19 on. Yeah. Tucker's 19 himself seems to have changed his profile to Tucker's 19 from the podcast as well.
Well, Tucker's 19 on Instagram has secured a lot more followers all of a sudden. And on the first picture on there, the comments, there are hundreds of comments.
Tucker's 19. I think it's just him with the horse, isn't it?
Is it the first horses? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's into the horse one. There's loads under there. Tucker's 19 forever.
Tucker's 19 forever. Have we measured the Cortinas yet? We've got a bit to do, haven't we? Just
one thing before we move on. We'll do a little, just for the fun of it, we're going to do PSG versus Inter today. But it's Harry Sidwell and Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon going up into League One. Really pleased for them. Johnny Jackson's the manager, and he was in my youth team at Tottenham. He was year below me. Great lad, really good lad. So I was really pleased for him, and of course Harry Sidwell. I know Sid was at the game.
Yeah. Was he there?
Yeah.
I thought he would be.
He went to the game, and I mean, it looked amazing. He was enjoying it. He didn't play, but unfortunately, he was very much involved in the celebrations, and I was really pleased for AFC Wimbledon.
Well, regards to the Sidwells and all of their family.
Okay, next part of the podcast is supported by Paddy Power. The big weekend fixture is it's a Champions League final. It's quite a big fixture. PSG versus Inter Milan. PSG are favourites, as you'd expect, at 6-5. 10 against you 22. Inter Milan 23 to 10. To lift the cup, this is after, in any way, 8-13 PSG. Quite short odds. Inter 5-4. So Inter are outsiders. Although I don't know how you feel about this, but PSG I think are a top side. I've done quite a few of the games, watched them quite a lot this season. Some seriously talented players.
Oh my God.
They're, what they did to Liverpool over 2 legs, I hadn't seen anyone do. I think they were fantastic. The semi-final, Inter versus Barcelona, was one of the best games of football.
Across two of the best
legs,
games. Yeah.
Like, how good was that?
You found yourself in your living room at home standing up applauding. It was mental that across 2 legs it could be that good.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I think in terms of a final, I think most people would agree this is probably the fair final that's become, from the 2 semis.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
And so I guess the big question, Crouchy, putting this on you, who do you like to see win?
Who would I like to see win?
I love Inter to win this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'd prefer Inter to win it. But I think PSG are probably the better footballing side. Although Inter feels like they can just get the job done. If I had to stick my long Gregory Peck on the line, I would say Inter Milan win this
on the day.
I just feel like they get the job done, and I don't know how. It might go to extra time. It might go to penalties even. But I do fancy Inter Milan.
Yeah, I can see that. Where will you be watching the game?
I'm actually I'm supposed to be out there, but I actually can't be out there, believe it or not. Obviously,
this must be one hell of an excuse.
Exactly right. Yeah, I won't get into it, but basically,
do you not think it's worth taking the hit and just sending the doghouse card?
Oh yeah. No, it's not really the doghouse. It's something that I cannot get out of it.
Okay,
unfortunately. But this is obviously TNT. It's live on TNT, and it's quite often they take the whole team, and it's one of the best events.
Well, just for
me personally. Well, no, there's certain things we have to do out there. But there's also a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I've seen what you do out there. This was where didn't you end up with like a Camilla Cabello?
Yeah, I did a robot with Camilla Cabello.
So this is amazing. So they justify getting all of you guys out there on the kind of work thing. But it's like, right, so-and-so's doing interview with this manager, so-and-so there, and, oh, God, we need something for Crouchy. I know, we'll send him to interview Camilla Cabello.
Yeah, well,
It all counts. I'm only jealous.
It's a good job, you know what I mean? And it's like, so this is, I would not be missing this for you know,
okay.
Wild horses can't keep me from the next one. I've already looked into it, it's in Budapest. I will be there, and hopefully I'll be working on the game, but if not required for that particular game, I will be there in any capacity that needed.
All right.
Well, just for the sheer fun of it, I'm going to say 2-1 to Inter Milan. In normal time.
In normal time. Okay, I do think it's extra time. I think it's. I think they're both going to score in extra time, and then Inter are going to score a very, very last second goal, right before penalties.
So Inter win it in extra time.
I don't know what score that would be. I'm saying, okay, 2-2 full time, then 3-0. And then it's going to go 4-3 Inter just before the penalties.
Really?
It's
wow.
going to be that
it's
good.
It's a game of a lifetime.
It's going to be that good.
Wow. Okay. Sounds good. We got Paddy's boost.
There's no points on this, is there?
No.
Okay,
No.
4-3 then.
4-3
just before
Inter.
penalties.
He's taking the piss now, isn't he?
Mate, I absolutely forgot about Steve Sidwell for a minute.
Did you? Outside, out of mind?
No, I just been... we've got his voice notes here.
Hi lads, hope you're well. Regards to your families. Sorry I'm not there. I'm not on the beach, even though I probably was last week with the predictions and I was sort of home and dry. I'm in Poland. I'm doing the Europa Conference League final, Chelsea versus Real Betis in Wrocław. So beautiful city in the daytime, a bit seedy at night, so sums me up perfectly. But yeah, hope you're all well. Predictions, league table, all finished. Wow, what can we say? Crouchy, you've lost. I feel bad for you, mate, but I think it was on the cards, on the turning point when you thought you got away with it. But yeah, it's come back to bite you, mate. So forfeit. Whoa, I mean, I want it to be as bad as possible. I'm sure probably, Chris, you're the same thinking about that.
Cheers, Sid.
What are we thinking? Ideas? I mean, the comedy sketch, that's brutal. I wouldn't want to get up and do that. And that's not good. I love the mascot shout. I think if it can be anything done football related, that's great. I'm thinking about maybe, I don't know, a shop window, being a mannequin in a shop window for a couple of hours that you can't move, where we do that at a sports shop.
Quite a nice idea.
One of these football jersey shops.
Mannequin in a shop window.
In Soho or in London. Or a bit of busking in Covent Garden. In a, I don't know, something horrendous.
That's quite good, isn't it?
I'm up for any ideas. Let's get a poll going. But I'm just so glad it's not me. Regards to your family, sorry I'm not there, and have a cognac on me.
Right, that's a class idea. The mannequin idea.
There's a couple there. I think the mascot's quite good as well. If I come out at a certain game, when they line up and all that, and I'm just standing in front of the player in question.
First day of the season, you're holding hands.
I hold hand with a player and walk out, and then stand in front of them on the lineup, and you can't even see the player behind.
But we just need a football club that would agree to this because, for example, I can't see Arteta green lighting Peter Crouch going out hand in hand with Declan Rice.
No, probably not.
But there must be a club that's up for this. Who's a kind of forward-thinking club?
There'll be a club out there.
What would you take though? Like if say it was like a Forest Green Rovers or someone like that.
It's the forfeit. You boys choose. The mannequin's good though. I like that. I don't like it, but it's a good idea. If I'm just stood in a shop window for a long time.
Agent provocateur. You just in a little bra and panty.
Shut up, mate. That's not even funny. That's not even funny. We got the Crouch pod bit build up. It's this is where we all put a leg of the pod bit build up.
Sorry,
I'm going to go for a player to be carded. Dumfries.
Go on then. Player to score or assist. I'll go Dembele.
I'm going to go player to be fouled one or more times. Kvaratskhelia.
Okay, all right.
Okay, odds are correct at time of recording. Please gamble responsibly. Okay, got some messages here. Hey, gents, regards to your families. Catching up on the pod and hearing the conundrum of how to reward for relegation playoff winners and the ultimate shame for the losers. I thought an idea would be both teams wear their kit minus the Premier League badge. The winner of the game does get to go up the stairs at the host stadium, Wembley-esque, and collect their Premier League badge for next season. The loser goes to get the Championship badge. Further housery for being in that position for both teams could be a commemorative plaque when they receive the badge saying either we're staying up or we're going down. Keep up the outstanding work, Ben.
It's not a bad idea, is it? You literally get the badges there and then.
I think you'd struggle to get the Championship lads to go off and get a Championship badge.
What do you mean?
Well, I think you'd struggle to just like go and collect your badges, lads. So you get a few fuck offs.
I agree. Also, I've seen on the Crouchy Pod Instagram. This has really kicked off a debate. This whole sort of relegation playoffs that we've been talking about. I did see a comment from someone there, which did get me thinking slightly differently for at least a minute or two. Is the notion of getting relegated too negative, whereas actually it should be an honour to be relegated to the Championship? And actually it's viewed more as a privilege than anything. I did think about it for a minute, and I thought, I don't think that's going to fly.
If you're club, and it's an ideal scenario.
No.
Although the Championship as a league, I really enjoy. But you don't want to get relegated from the Premier League.
Exactly.
We have another message here. This is from Mark Owen. I'm not sure if it's the Mark Owen from Take That, although I know he does listen. He says, I've got an idea for your forfeit. The loser has to be a match day mascot for the Premier League team. All-time classic. Regards to your families, he says, great idea. We've mentioned it before. I think that could be good.
We just need a football club that's willing to let Crouchy do that.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. And regards to the rest of Take That, Mark. Hi, Crouchy, Sids and One Nut. I don't know what you feel. You all right with that?
Well, I can't not be all right with it. I don't want to cause a scene. It's I'm sure it's meant with respect, is it?
Well, he says regards to your families.
Oh, there we go.
So, I'm sure it's respectful. After listening to a recent episode where a listener messaged in about man v fat, which was one of the best emails I think we've had, I too was part of one of the clubs in Tonbridge, Kent, until an injury made me hang up my boots for a second time. I can highly recommend the movement after being part of teams with the names Full of Ham and Chipswich Town. Full of ham. Wow, the main purpose of this email is to offer up an option for an end of season forfeit. We're hosting a charity golf event on the 26th of June, and after recently having to a team pull out, we are in the market for a new 4-ball to enter. What better way of carrying out a forfeit is there when it's mixed with a round of golf, having a beer and a barbecue, as well as raising money for a local charity? I have many suggestions for this, but one I landed on was 1, play the whole round in a football shirt chosen by the first and second place players in your prediction league. Then 2, at the end of the round, the loser must stand on the green on the shortest hole, allowing all 80 players the opportunity to play one shot at them. Each of the participants must pay a donation to the charity for the privilege. The day will be attended by players of varying ability, some with scratch or as close to handicaps, to others that dig out the course more than they play the ball. I appreciate your people will probably need to speak to my people, aka me, so feel free to get in touch. I'm not sure I want to get peppered by golf balls.
No, I think it's a bit too far if someone connects, especially if we get the calibre of people that this podcast should attract. If you get Gareth Bale, you're...
Well, am I not allowed to move? Like, what if someone thins one straight into my eyeball?
Well, they seem to be suggesting because it's for charity. That would be
that'd be fine if I die.
It's amazing what you can do under the guise of charity, isn't it? What people ask. Sounds like a lovely event. It's nothing against the event.
Yeah, sounds great until I get peppered with 80 golf balls. It's like basically like standing on a driving range.
Yeah.
Fucking mental.
Do you know what I've always wanted to do though? I don't know if you've ever said, I think I'd get a real kick out of it, is have you ever been to Top Golf or a driving range that's up high when the cart comes out, you know, the little
You'll
little
try and
buggy,
pepper it.
and you always aim for it no matter where you are in the world. I'd love to have a go in that little van.
Would you?
Wouldn't you? Just to experience it.
Yeah, what it's like. It's like being in a tank in the war, isn't it? Really? Because you just get pepper from everywhere.
I just think what a class job that. I'd love to hear from someone who does that job.
What, do a golf ball collector at a driving range?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Well, that will be the last Friday podcast for a little while.
Well, it feels sad that Sids isn't here for it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's sad.
Feels like we shouldn't finish on this. It's for not wanting to go back to Mark Owen. It feels like we're one member down of the band again.
You know, which
a little bit. I know they suffer from.
Yeah, they do.
They're always at least one, sometimes
at least
two.
One down. Yeah. Good point, actually. That.
Yeah. But either way, just on this forfeit thing, just so we can leave this with you, and we'll work out how we're going to do this. We might put a vote on the socials or that kind of thing. There have been so many suggestions that have been sent in. Do you want to run through them?
Yeah, there's a stand-up comedy routine that I mean, it would just be hell. Can't even begin to imagine what that would be like. A giant red arse has been mentioned, where I basically bend over and receive BB style for
I do worry you'll end up on the same audience.
Do you think? We could put it up on OnlyFans or something, couldn't we?
No, I'm not wearing a balaclava.
You're not. But we could do that. It'd be quite funny. Anyway, so basically, I stand in the middle of the goal and you just fire balls at me for what seems to be a long time. I think,
but not just me and Sid's. Like obviously, we invite the
like
podcast listeners,
and
some
various
pros.
different people connected to the podcast. Some people, Charlie Adam probably should have a go as well. One of the best I've seen at Red Arse.
Mark Owen, those sort
Mark Owen now. Tucker's 19.
Tucker's 19. They'll all have a go.
Can all have a go, yeah. Refereeing the game. Someone would like to see me ref a game. See how I get on with that. Do some poetry, perhaps a reading somewhere.
By the way, I think the poetry thing shouldn't be a forfeit. You've previously said that you're good at writing poetry. I think this should be when the Friday pod comes back. I do think this should be a little mini series of
I'm a poet and I know
Peter's poems.
We'll just do a segment of a poem. Yeah, I'm up for that. Singing, this could potentially be anywhere really. Chest up and sing.
Well, I think if it's going to be singing, it needs to be unannounced in a pub somewhere in the UK, and you're just there. It's sort of maybe first game of the season or something like that, and you pop up for the halftime entertainment.
What, like packed full of football fans?
Yeah, that's. I think singing's unless it's something like that. I think it's a bit.
Goalkeeping in a Sunday League game's quite a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe a dance routine, or perhaps join the Dream Boys.
Thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, interesting day for the ladies, won't it?
It would be good.
But money back. It would be very funny though.
Okay, well, look, a lot to think on. So you'll see that sort of emerge on our socials, and make sure you have your say and vote and all that kind of thing. And it's just been an amazing season doing this Friday podcast, hasn't it? Because it's quite new, this Friday one. It was just one podcast the week before, and now we got this. And I feel like, at the end of a football tournament where they play Green Day, Time of Your Life. So I think just to wrap this up, if you could just say something a bit profound, and then we could put some emotional music, and then let everyone will cry, and we'll go again another day.
No problem. It's been an absolute privilege to host that Peter Crouch podcast Friday edition for a quarter of the season. It's been utterly joyous. My final thanks goes to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your love and support over the season. It's been so special. It's now time to say goodbye.